So welcome back, friends. I'm very happy to hear all of the comments, how many of you are enjoying the timber framing, timber framing in 10-minute series. And there's a lot of questions, and there's a lot of you that are following along and kind of doing the same thing. It's really good to hear, and for the pictures that you guys are sharing on Instagram and Facebook of the tools that you're buying. You know, some of you are buying new timber framing tools. Some of you are buying used ones and restoring them, and I get a tremendous kick out of that. And I want to share something with you, a quick tip that I recently learned that has made a huge difference for me for something that I struggled with a lot, and that was getting consistent joinery on my tenons. Tenons, as if you don't know, and just let me give a quick recap. There's a lot of folks that are following for the first time that have never heard of timber framing, and they're not following exactly what's going on. And just to show you very quickly, these pieces right here this is actually the base of the sawhorses that we're building, and the female portion is called the mortise, and you can see the mortise would be the part that goes inside, and this has a double pin in it, meaning the joint would be held together with the two pins. Now this piece here that goes into the mortise, the tongue, or some people will call it the mail, is called the tenon. And how timber framing works, it's the process of joining wood members together without the use of any nails or screws or fasteners. And if it's done right, it will last generations. We were in London last year, and it was so fascinating. I was in this old pub that had been timber framed with the exposed beams on it that had been standing for 500 or 600 years or some crazy thing like that. And it was hard to believe. You know, where are the single wide, double wide trailers? Where are the row houses going to be in that amount of time? You know, so it really has proven the test of time. So how it's held together, of course, and then holes would be drilled through here, and everything's secured with the pins. It's really, to me, it's a fascinating form of construction, and something that I just really enjoy doing and am passionate about. I'm self-taught. I haven't taken any classes or anything. I just simply have learned from books that I've gotten from the library and trial and error. So I am not an expert. I am a layman, but I have cut a lot of mortises and tenons, and I've learned something. So that's what I want to share with you today. It was such a simple thing, but it's made a big difference, and it's these guys right here. So here you can see a cross section of a tenon that is 1.5 inches, 3 inches deep. And what happens to a lot of beginners, myself included up until recently, was that we have a line there that was easy to pare down to the line. We can see and we know what we're going to have. The problem is getting it even all the way across. And what's really common for beginners is you'll get these edges pared down with your chisel. Just meaning just this. Imagine that there's a line here, and we pare these down. But then this place in the center where you don't have a line tends to hump up, and it can split your wood, and it just gives you all sorts of trouble. So the solution, or the fix, is to take a piece of just scrap wood. This is a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, and I cut very precisely 1.5 inch mortise. This is 14 inches long. This is 10 inches long, so it would cover as big of a mortise as I would ever need. And this is going to be an item that would be kept in the toolbox. I made 2 of them because we're going to have either 2-inch or 1.5 inch mortises. And it was really important to cut these precise. Take your time and cut them. Be very, very close, because it's going to be your rule of thumb for your mortises. And what the solution simply is once you get that cut, if you can slide it over your mortise, over your tenon, you know that you have consistency. What you'll find is if they're too fat, rather than trying to do the trial and error of fitting it when you're dealing with huge beams, picking them up and trying to fit them together only to have them too tight and not fit is really frustrating. It's really difficult, especially when you're working by yourself like I do. So having this is just to simply check as a gauge. I know if I can get this over there nice and tight, just not super tight, but you can kind of see, then I'm not going to have a problem. It's going to be a good fit. So thought I'd share that tip with you. It's been very helpful to me, and I would highly recommend you do it. You could make these out of a sheet of aluminum. You could make them out of anything you want. It would be kind of nice to have something that wasn't going to fall apart when it rained, but you know, I'm in a position in my life now where if it's raining outside, I don't have to go out and work in it, so I'm not going to. So plywood works for me. All right, well, thanks for watching. Hope this helps, and we'll see you guys on the next video.